The education system in the United States is extremely flawed, right? Now, we need a basic education, of course. We need to learn how to read, how to write, some math skills, science. But then, when you get up to high school, right, in many cases, it doesn't really prepare you for the real world at all. Most people don't come out of high school knowing how to do taxes, how to invest, how to start a business. They don't really even know what they want to do in life, right? Oftentimes they're taught useless information that they're never going to need, right? That's the thing. Like, if you're gonna be taking like chemistry classes in high school, for example, and yeah, maybe like they give you these subjects, you can get a feel for different things. Maybe it'll give you an idea of what you want to be when you're older, your career. Again, high school doesn't teach you how to be creative. Oftentimes, it doesn't teach you how to harness your creative abilities, your imagination, right? I mean, I learned so much on my own. You can learn so much from sitting in a library than 4 years of high school. You can just buy a bunch of different textbooks, read all of them. I never understood the concept of homework either. I mean, the whole purpose of, being in class is that you learn from the teacher in the assignments within the classroom, right? It always brought upon guilt. But in my case, I was actually fortunate enough to have one teacher in senior year of high school who was showing us some very interesting documentaries. One of them was the Zeitgeist film. It started off, kind of trying to cast doubt upon certain aspects of religion, and then it kind of went into like some things that people would probably consider conspiracy theories. I'm not going to really provide any input on the second part of the film, but it started to make me like question things more deeply, right? And I started like researching things more, and that research, I fell into these rabbit holes where I would stay up at night and like research stuff and start like freaking out and questioning my beliefs. Also, the fact that I have some family members that also studied philosophy and anthropology and these types of subjects I liked. So there was always like all kinds of different books laying around, and so I was kind of around that environment. I had some intellectual stimulation, but that was a pivotal moment in my life because I completely changed as a person. Actually, I was more I was more of a follower up until that point, until I started really thinking deeply about things. But not everyone's gonna be lucky enough to have that kind of experience. Then of course you've got bullying, right? You've got antisocial behavior. You'll meet some good friends. In high school you might meet some good friends. I got two close friends. Uh, One of them I met from high school, and then he introduced me to his friend, and now we're really close friends, right? And then when you go to college, that's a whole other can of worms that we're about to get into right now. College, first of all, you got college debt, which a lot of people have to pay off. They have to pay off this college debt for the rest of their life. Throughout those 4 years, oftentimes you'll change your major. You don't really know exactly what to do because there's a lot of pressure being put at you at that moment in your life. Oftentimes you're not really learning anything special either. Unless you're doing a very specific degree, okay? If you're going to learn how to become a brain surgeon, then you have to actually go to medical school after, right? So it's important for people who they're going to into a specialized field, right? To be taught by professionals, right? And become certified and whatnot, and then get hands-on experience. But people talk about, oh, college is about the experience. What's the experience? I know what it is. It's fraternity life. It's getting high, taking drugs, getting drunk, having sex, right? My friend was just telling me at his university, he's changed locations to a larger university. He said a lot of the kids there, they act wild. He hung out, with some fraternity kids. They popped out some Adderall. They made it into a powder and they snorted it. And they asked him if he wants to try cocaine. Is this the college experience? Is this where our youth is being educated so that they one day can run our societies? Or is the college experience really just about hedonism and decreasing your mental age, not maturing and educating yourself, right? Because oftentimes I could never sleep in my dorms because there's always some idiots running down the halls screaming on God knows what. And I'm like, okay, so I'm the weird one because I don't want to get involved in this. I actually want to study and then get the hell out of here because I never wanted to go to college to begin with. Adding on to that, my each of my classes are extremely expensive. I'm talking above $500 from doing digital marketing online. That actually gave me more opportunities than college can ever give me. So at the end of the day, the college it wasn't worth it at all. There was no memorable experiences there at all. I learned some interesting information from some history teachers, some anthropology professors, some philosophy professors. There's some good teachers who actually want to educate young adults. But oftentimes, I remember in a philosophy class, they're like, "That was so boring. I just want to get out of here." I'm like, "I love this." The way I see it, I could never imagine wasting away these vital years of my life getting drunk, smoking weed, taking cocaine, rotting my brain cells, when I can be harnessing my creative abilities, I could be educating myself because that's empowering. Adding on to the fact that you have dorms where you have to live with people who oftentimes don't even respect you. I mean, hopefully, you know, you might win the lottery and have a roommate that's respectful, maybe a foreign exchange student. But no, every roommate I had was a psychopathic personality. Getting high and drunk at night, being really loud, inviting people over. I remember one of my old friends from my first university, he said he felt traumatized when he left that college. It was so bad at one point because I was getting no sleep and I wasn't eating in freshman year. I was failing classes freshman year. It was so bad that I actually went to the hospital for 3 days. I had a mental breakdown when I was 17, 18. So yeah, and it makes sense why in Japan you have a lot of students, you know, offing themselves because of the pressure. The pressure, you know, it's taken too seriously, right? When, real education to me, real education is going to a library, reading every single book in that library, harnessing your creative abilities, your imagination, learning an instrument, right? I learned about image streaming recently. No, but it's become weird to actually sit down and study and go to sleep at 9 o'clock, go to sleep at 10 o'clock, and abstain from alcohol, abstain from weed, abstain from cocaine. And then what's going to happen if these kids get kicked out? What are their parents going to do? Right? So that's why I think the education system is a big joke. And of course, nowadays you have a lot of these liberal professors who are essentially brainwashing students and creating an army of angry militants